Climate change has affected the environment down to the smallest of houseplants. Keeping a houseplant is harder today than it has ever been due to rising temperatures, fluctuations in humidity, and CO2 levels affecting growth. Climate change has also affected home gardening. Gardeners are forced to adapt to warmer temperatures, shifting hardiness zones, and extreme weather volatility. Fall springs, droughts, and mild winters are also contributing factors to the troubles of gardeners.
I've been keeping plants since high school. I remember having this apple tree that I grew from a seed, and that was the first plant I remember growing. Well, I liked growing things. I liked growing the apple from the apple seed, or the apple tree from the apple seed. My dad and my mom have both always been gardeners or farmers. My dad, at the back of our grandma's house, we would plow up, she had like an acre that we would plow up, and we'd plant corn and beans and stuff. And then my mom just loves planting flowers, and our house has always had flowers, so. There's obviously a shorter growing season up here in Boone because we are in the mountains. So that's been kind of a big effect on how I would take care of my plants. Recently, I guess, the weather has been unpredictable, but I also just haven't lived up here for my whole life, so I'm not used to how the weather changes. But I do think that, especially with how it's been fluctuating this year, has been affecting what I have to do to keep my plants healthy. I have to bring in the plants that I can bring in so that they don't freeze and then die. So that's been a big, I have to think about how can I plant my plants, obviously, in a pot that's easy to bring in and out. And it's hard to bring in and out. I don't do it because it's hard to do it. But my big planter, the plants in there, I have to cover them up or else they'll die. It might just be the soil they're in, but the plants that I have indoors, they're pretty hardy, so I haven't really noticed too much of a change. Well, my indoor plants are doing really well. Like I said, they're pretty hardy plants, so it takes a lot of neglect to kill them off. And my outdoor plants, they're doing pretty well. I'm trying to grow kind of an herb garden as well as some cherry tomatoes, which, since the growing season up here is so much shorter than it would be where I live, it's kind of difficult to grow what I want. And since we also kind of live in the shade, our porch is very shaded, so it's also difficult to grow what I want because you have to take into account the shade, and that's been affecting. I've noticed some of their growth.
When's the last time you heard about how climate change has been affecting houseplants, home gardens? When's the last time you thought about how climate change was affecting your houseplants or garden, if you keep one? And now, for a brief spotlight on our injured butterfly.
I found this butterfly, and it's a black morph of the Eastern Tiger Swallowtail, which is the North Carolina state butterfly, by the way. And her wing was broken off, so I brought her inside and we've been feeding her and watching her. And she can't really be rehabilitated, so we've just kind of been making her comfortable. If she could be released, we would try, but it's like the entire wing has been broken off.